What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation and the first edition of the Tool Tuesday we're going to run so everybody gets their tool fix on this channel. What we're going to do is we're going to break down one section or one riff of a song every couple weeks and talk about why I like it and what's fun about it and maybe what you can incorporate in your own playing. So let's get started. We're going to look at the breakdown or climax riff from Hooker with a Penis. And I really like this riff because it does something that Jones does a lot. Not only how he plays the guitar, but rhythmically, and that's incorporate a 5/8 time signature, right, or meter. And the easiest way to break down this riff is to put it in the chunks. So let me play the whole thing first, and then we'll break it down. Right? That's the riff itself, and it comes right after the little chug part, and it comes out of silence, and the band is unison, and it's really climactic part of the song. And like I said, I've seen this riff tabbed out as 10/8 and 13/8, like a measure of 10 and a measure of 13. Personally, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. Riff-wise and the way it's phrased, it's much easier to have a couple of chunks of 5 and then per se a measure of 4/4. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's what it adds up to, and that's kind of the way it makes sense. And all the rhythm, we're in a drop D tuning, by the way. It's all 16th notes, and each chunk is going to have a long or held out note in it. Okay, so we're going to play open D, right, and then we're going to play D on the 12th fret, and that's the long note. And then we're going to have a quick open and then hammer on 3, 5, 10, 12. And if you put those notes vertically in a drop D tuning, it's actually just 3, 5, 3, 5. And like I said, you see that a lot. Right, those notes are the same, but keeping it on the low string and as power chords kind of adds to the thickness and the power of the riff. Okay, so we have, right? Now take your time doing that because that shift of the hammer-on can be a little tricky. And like I said, the long note is 12. And now we're going to do this 3 times. And the long note's going to change every time. So that kind of makes it simple and easy to understand. So the first time it's going to be on 12, and then it's going to be on 8, and then it's going to go back to 12. And then that last measure, again, compositionally is what I like because it's just a slight variation of what's going on. And I tend to do that when I write riffs like this, okay? So you have a measure of 5/8, which is the long note's on 12, then the long note is on 8, and then the long note is on 12. And then the last measure, you have 13 and 10. You have 2 long notes. So that's what makes this turnaround a little different. So it's 3 times, then 13, and then 4 times to 10, and then you just repeat. And that's the whole riff. And like I said, you have the odd time chunks, which is a really nice way to conceptualize the riff, and it's even phrased in that sense. And what I also like is, since you're strumming 16th notes essentially the whole time, you can play it strumming like this with your left hand. And if you do that, you'll notice that every time you play a long note, it's going to be an upstroke, because every one of these beats is on the upbeat. It's not on a downbeat, and that adds to the syncopation of the whole feel. Okay? Cool. So that does it for the first edition of Tool Tuesday. I hope you guys like that riff. It's a lot of fun to play. It's one of my favorite songs to jam on. And like I said, tabs are available on Instagram at Axe Creation. That's it. If you guys if you have any suggestions for upcoming Tool Tuesdays, I have a ton of ideas of my own what I want to talk about, but let me know in the comment section below or anywhere where you can find me. So until then, let me know what you come up with, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.